Hi guys, welcome back to another week of e-commerce marketing chats with myself, Charles, and Jimmy. Jimmy, what's going on, mate? How's
Hey guys, how
things?
you going? I think
Bit of
today is going to be a bit of an e-commerce chat like always, but it'll probably be a bit of me and Charles catching up because Charles has had a bit of a hiatus, a bit of downtime, and I think we all need it at some point. But yeah, it's I feel like I haven't spoken to you in ages, Charles,
nice.
because usually we kind of interacting almost every day or second day,
Yeah,
just some kind of message back and forward. And I've tried to give you space over the last week because I know you just wanted some downtime. But yeah, we're almost playing catch up now, and yeah, just chatting all things e-com. So I've had an interesting week myself, actually. I've actually signed on to be a Google Ads coach in an e-commerce community. So I'll probably talk about that community a bit later after I've um, kind of got some roots in it. And yeah, we can just chat about. But I don't want to chat about other things that they're kind of their IP that they're doing outside of Google Ads. But I'll definitely talk about what I'm teaching Google Ads wise and kind of I guess everyone in there is at such different points that it's finding it quite difficult to give kind of an overarching strategy because this part's going to work for this person and this part's going to work for that person. So it's and I'm figuring out now those courses kind of need like an overall general strategy that everyone could apply, but then once you get to a certain point, you're like, okay, you're going to have to go this direction because of these reasons, whether it's how many products you've got, what your budget is, all these kind of different variables that are going to be different in every business. But it just also highlighted to me as well that it's like that for every ecom business. There's no right way to do something. You might have a standard way that is just the general way to do it at an okay level, but when you start to wanting to really progress to those high levels, there's probably a specialist way to do it for kind of every business. So yeah, that's kind of even week one in the community, I'm like that kind of came across really strongly for me. And even the types of businesses, I do work with an auto parts accessory company, and there was an auto parts accessory business in there. So I know that industry obviously quite well. So
yeah,
I think we both know that industry quite well. So
yeah.
yeah, I can obviously provide some insight there. But yeah, it's an interesting thing that's going on at the moment, and I've decided to get into a little bit more of the coaching side and helping other people out. So I think this is kind of a good place to start for me in this community. And the guy that runs the community he's really great with the people in there, and I vibe with him quite well, which is why I kind of wanted to be involved in this community. I've probably been asked to coach in two other communities, both of which I've said no to. One of them wanted me to shut down the little group that we have. I was like, no, that's kind of not aligned with what I want to do. I'm happy to come in and coach your community, but I'm not shutting down anything else that I've kind of got going on the side. So that wasn't a good fit. And the other one, it was just, it was I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much because if someone's listening, they may know that it's them. But it just wasn't a good fit for me in terms of what I wanted to bring, and they were expecting kind of a lot done on my end with you might get leads from this community. I'm like, I'm not really kind of joining your community for leads. I'm kind of joining it to create content and help people. So and it's the community that I'm coaching in now is obviously a paid position, so I get paid to help people. So that's the best case scenario for me, and it was a good fit. So yeah, I'm on a month trial there, so we'll see how we go. But after the first call, I felt really good after that first call, and kind of just getting my feet into where a lot of the communities' businesses are at, what they're struggling with, what kind of the reoccurring issues or reoccurring themes are that people are struggling with. So I think that'll help a lot just in kind of different level discussions on this call as well.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's a monthly commitment, is it, that you're having a monthly call with them within the
No, actually,
community, or is that?
so how it works is fortnightly commitment so I do one Google Ads kind of coaching call every 2 weeks, and then the members of their community can book in one-on-ones with me whenever they need. So yeah, I have to make myself available for at least 5 hours a week. But that's not to say that those 5 hours will be booked every single week. I just need to have that available for their community. So yeah, um, not a massive time commitment on my end, but yeah, it's just nice to be jumping in there and chatting to some more business owners because I think that's why we started this initially. We just wanted to chat to more business owners and help them out. So it's just doing that on a different platform, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's certainly going to bring some new insights when you're speaking to more business owners, more ecom brands and stuff. So yeah, it sounds good, Jimmy. Sounds good. Look forward to hearing some. Yeah, like I said, you can bring more scenarios to the table. You can. I'm sure it will benefit our audience here as well on some level.
I'll also be able to see, so even the things that they're not struggling with, I'll be able to see across a lot of accounts what they're not actually doing that could help them a lot. So I think, especially in Google Ads coaching, a lot of kind of courses go into, I guess, a structure or a format to run your ads. A lot of people go the Performance Max route because it's probably the easiest and it's the simplest way to start. Where a lot of people don't entertain is the Google Merchant Center, which is kind of what I want to bring a lot to the table as well, because I've seen how important it is and how much it can help results just on, especially on the shopping feed. But yeah, it's not something that's kind of really delved into on like how you can improve this, how it affects your store, what it does when these certain things are added. So I think I've got a lot to add there, which will be fun. But yeah, the thing that I've noticed with coaching as well is sometimes you want to go really deep because you know the advanced method that will help them, but it's just they're not at the place to hear it. It's just too overwhelming. Like if I came in and said, "Oh yeah, you need to do this, this, and this will really help," they're not at that like even mindset level yet. So I can see like how keeping it basic is so important. And then when they get to a certain point, it's like, okay, this is kind of the advanced way to drive additional results now that you've kind of established a baseline. So yeah, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, and I mean, coaching, I think it's a skill set in itself, isn't it? It's like, as kind of specialists, we can. It's very easy for us to forget that not everyone has the extensive experience within Google Ads or SEO, and then you start talking in terminology that people don't quite understand. So it's important to kind of bring it back to basics, and so that everyone can understand it. Which it's important.
Definitely. Let's just before the call, Charles and I were just briefly discussing backlinks. So it's something that I wanted to discuss. One, because AI seems to be using it as a reference point to basically measure your authority in their kind of choosing of companies or products that they're going to show in their AI listings. But Charles made a really good point. You know, there's about quality over quantity when it comes to backlinks, which I tend to agree with as well. So there's a lot of backlink services out there, and I think even Charles, in your directory of freelancers that you've got on your personal site on charlestravis.com, I think you've got Russell in there who runs a kind of a backlink agency. We'll have to get him on here for a chat
Yeah.
about backlinks one time. I think that would be kind of a really good discussion because you were mentioning that the outreach that he does is actually organic. Like he's not going to like these backlink website farms and just dumping someone's website in there. He's actually, trying to do genuine outreach to sites to get kind of the people that are paying him for backlinks to get their link placed. So yeah, like I'm not super deep in the backlink world, so maybe Charles, if you can kind of give us a bit of background on what a good backlink looks like, what a bad backlink looks like. I kind of know what a bad backlink looks like just from previous reports that I've seen. It's just like this long URL that's based in Russia that you can't even read it. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Blogspot.
maybe talk about kind of what makes a good backlink, what makes a bad backlink, and kind of, I guess, from my own curiosity too, kind of the difference between, I guess, digital PR and like a standalone backlink strategy?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to cover, but I guess simplistically, traditionally, and actually, unfortunately, still now, if you go to a backlink agency or specialist, still a strong focus on DA, so domain authority. So if a site has got a high domain authority score, then it's a high quality website. Therefore, it's worth getting a backlink from. The problem with just looking at DR, or sorry, DA, DR sometimes it's referred to as well, domain rating, um, is that DA is mainly focused on the amount of backlinks that site has. Well, the amount of volume of backlinks can be manipulated in terms of the quality, because a site could have, 100,000 backlinks, but 100,000 of those links are all spammy. But that would still show that the DA potentially is high. So there's, at a fundamental level, the metrics that people are looking at are often flawed. Now, what I would do, I'd still look at domain authority, DA, but I would be looking and making sure, is it a site that is relevant to your niche, ideally? So, if you're selling outdoor equipment and furniture, then getting a link from maybe a gardening website is somewhat relevant. Whereas if you're getting a link from a casino website, it's not relevant. So relevancy is important on some level. The only exception is if it's from a high quality news publication. So if you're getting a link from, say, Forbes, um, you know, there's various different high quality publications, maybe some traditional news outlet sites. Then there's still some value in that. It's not niche relevant, but it's still a high quality link. So I'd be looking at that. I would also be reviewing their traffic as well. Are they actually getting any traffic? The biggest red flag for me is if a site has got a bunch of backlinks, but it's not actually getting any traffic. It's effectively a what they call a link farm. It's just been created to prop it up to make it look good. So looking at the site's link profile and seeing, do they have quality links before you then get a backlink from them? Um, can anyone just get a link from them? Can anyone just contact them and pay for a link? Um, if they've got a page which says, be a guest blogger, write for us, sometimes that's okay. But if they're offering that to everyone at a cheap rate, then there's no exclusivity on it. Therefore, it's not really going to be a high quality link if anyone can get it. Um, Ideally, you want to get links from sites which you've done organic outreach for, and there's somewhat of an exchange. And I'm not saying that paying for links is a bad idea, because the industry as a whole, like, people know that links are valuable. So a lot of these publications will still say, yeah, we'll do a guest blog for you, which is one way to get a backlink. Is they write a blog about a particular topic and then they link back to your site. But you have to pay $150 for that link. So there's a few factors, yeah, certainly to consider. Like I said, traffic, making sure that site is getting genuine traffic, looking into their own backlink profile and making sure that they don't have a bunch of spammy links and they're not just being propped up. Is the site of relevance? Is it related to the market that you're in? Those are certainly going to be kind of the starting points. And I would just be careful if you are hiring, an agency, that ask them specific questions like, what is your approach? Like, how are you actually creating these links for us? Because you'll find that if you're hiring a full scale SEO agency to do your SEO and also building out your links as part of that strategy, they are sometimes going to just outsource that to a cheap link vendor and then just make sure that they're they can get a good profit margin. So they're not really looking at the quality of the links, and they're just outsourcing that to without any quality control. So yeah, those are a few things that I would be reviewing when I'm looking at links.
Do you think directories have a place in e-commerce? I know when I was working in-house for kind of more of a service-based business, like we would put the listings in as just as many directories as we could because it was a kind of a physical location. I find that might be a little bit harder with online businesses that don't actually have a kind of a physical location. But is there, like, are there relevant kind of online site directories or e-commerce directories that you'd recommend?
Yeah, I mean there'll be more niche specific business directories. So whatever niche you're in, there's usually some form of business directory that is associated to your market. So I'd certainly be looking at that and seeing, typically if you're within an industry, there's going to be certain directories, news publications that are relevant to your space where you might be able to get a free listing. Again, they often do paid listings as well for extra exposure, and you get a page rather than just a small profile. Um, so those are some quick wins if you want to quickly get a few links. Make it even
They've
just
uh,
make it.
they've got SEO elements in themselves, don't they? In terms of what just it's a long time ago since I've done. I think it was 2013 or 14 where I set these up for a service-based business. But I found all of them kind of wanted lengthy descriptions about the business, which I probably think about it now. It's probably kind of more SEO important because you don't really care about that description, but you want it to rank well. So yeah, I think it's probably still the same on other directories, and it's. I was just thinking, even if they're writing on forums, they probably almost want to not tailor it so it looks like an SEO reply, but think about kind of keywords that they're putting in certain replies when they're mentioning their business. Would you say that's kind of relevant in the space at the moment, or not so much?
Doesn't matter so much. I think where it does potentially have an impact is what's being shown on AI search on
Mm.
ChatGPT. So, a prime example, recently I started building out links for my own personal brand site, and I was being very conscious in the description I was using. I was saying, Shopify SEO consultant helping, DTC brands to grow and scale their organic traffic and sales, and I was making that consistent across all of the social media profiles, all of the business directories, and like freelancer profiles. And that actually changed the copy of what was showing up when I typed in, like, what do you know about Charles Travers? So you can start to kind of manipulate what's being shown based on if you're consistent with your descriptions. But if your descriptions are kind of all over the place and they're not the same, or they're saying one thing on one site and different on the other, then there's going to be inconsistency there, and Google are
When
not going to
you
really know what to show.
when you say not the same, is it literally cut and paste descriptions across these different things, or do they have their slight nuances?
You can do copy and paste, but there'll be slight nuances. Some will actually say, please don't just copy and paste from, they want more unique content. So you could just play around with it. But the great thing about, AI now is you can just
Yeah,
say, can you create me three versions
10
of this?
different versions. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
right.
So it's easy enough to do. Um, with regards to the business directories, really that falls more into local SEO. So if you've got a storefront and you want to show up on the map pack, if you've got your name and address on these directories, then that helps you to show up for that. So that's more of a local SEO approach. But for e-commerce stores that have just got an online storefront, doesn't it's not as impactful, but it still does. If you can get on there and you can get a free business listing, then it helps. It's a brand mention in itself, so it does have some impact.
Maybe we should set up an e-commerce directory for stores and be that directory.
Yeah, well,
Because I mean, you've got Google, but I was just thinking about it then. I'm thinking more like kind of an Australian-based one. It's like, hey, I want like a list of all the online stores that sell this product. So, especially if you're wanting to price compare or whatnot. I mean, you've got the you've got the stores that are on Google and have submitted their feed and on the free listings, but so many of the stores out there wouldn't have done that. So it's almost like, hey, I wonder if there's some hidden gems out there that I don't even know about, and I would probably use the directory to try and find some of those.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Um, and then I guess the creme de la creme of backlinks these days is more on the kind of digital PR side, um, which, in my opinion, takes more work, and you know, there's a lot of PR people that have crossed over into kind of the SEO world because of that. Um, but yeah, a high quality digital PR link could be worth more than 100 kind of low quality guest blogs or kind of just spammy backlinks. So um, and what we're finding as well is even if that publication doesn't provide you with a backlink, if it gives you a brand mention, then that allows you to show up on ChatGPT. So actually, just brand mentions alone is becoming a signal in itself. Um, so yeah, there's a few ways to look at it. But what I would say is just that is the one area where a lot of stores get completely fleeced. I know. Yeah, I've had discussions with companies that are spending like between 6 to 10,000 US dollars a month on backlinks. And when I look at what they're spending it on, I'm like, wow, they're getting completely shafted in terms of the quality. So just having some idea on how to quality check, I think is important. Um, don't just take your SEO's agency's word for it because some of them aren't yeah, as open as you might think.
I think on the digital PR too, like one of the, ah, I think business owners are cluing on a bit more recently because you go to like the main publications and you can tell which ones are strictly like just a paid listing. It's some sob story about, how a business really struggled in COVID and now they're doing okay again. I was like, well, that's pretty much every business in the country. So why are you writing about this particular one? So and like they hadn't even done anything amazing. They were just back on their feet. This is not a news story. This has clearly been a paid publication. So
Yeah, there is a few like PR syndication websites where you could just pay uh a couple of $100 and then it will syndicate across all of these different publications, which maybe there's some value there, but it's not it's not the highest of quality, and anyone can get that
yeah.
press release.
The only
Um,
reason I would even attempt that at the moment is because I actually read an article this week of someone that had done it, and they ranked number one in ChatGPT for it. That they were doing it as a trial. Number one in ChatGPT for like a local plumbing recommendation, and their business didn't even exist. They were doing it as a test for this
yeah.
publication syndication, and AI is recommending them as the number one plumbing business in whatever locality it was, and the business didn't even exist. They just literally pushed a Fiverr syndication kind of digital PR, and it's like, yeah, well, I mean, it'll be like Google though. They'll crack down eventually,
Yeah.
but if you can get some early kind of traction, then why not?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I do think
Especially if it's relevant and it's actually is your business. I mean, he got kind of traction for a business that didn't even exist. So if you had a business that obviously does exist, then yeah, I don't think it's going to it wouldn't do any harm to their site, Charles, if they at least tried it. I don't want
yeah,
to say
that
it will or it won't because I don't have
no,
that kind of experience in the SEO world.
no, Google used to Google used to kind of penalize sites, and the last thing you want is a Google penalty. Like it's very hard to come back from a Google penalty, but now they just supposedly they just ignore the bad links. So as long as you're building quality links as well over time, they just effectively ignore them. So it's not
think
necessarily going
I
to do
think
you
it's
any harm.
smart too. I mean, because if your competitor was crushing you and you knew, hey, if I do this, you're going to get a Google penalty, it's probably going to cost them $500 to get their competitors like a strike against their business almost. I mean, it's not very ethical, but when you're playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes ethics are the last things that these companies are thinking about.
Well, yeah, there is. I mean, there is. They call it negative SEO, where like you literally have some companies that will send a bunch of kind of spammy links to a competitor's site in order to try and get them, penalized. And I think that might be one of the reasons why Google just now ignores them rather than penalizes sites because it knows that some companies do that. Yeah, it's it's an
And we're
interesting space.
I mean, in Australia at the moment, we're seeing lawsuits for negative reviews where they've backtracked it to a competitor of the other business. So now they've actually got like IP data. They can actually prove that it was a competitor that wrote this negative review. And there was a there was a situation in Adelaide. It was a law firm. Why would you do it to a law firm? Like you're just asking to be sued. But yeah, they sued them for $750,000, and they were awarded it. So, um, yeah, I think that was about 2 years ago. I feel we're in that realm. But yeah, I mean, where people like to play unethically. I hope the majority of them are found out, but I mean, sometimes you read negative reviews on companies' pages, and it's not even they're not even writing it for the right business. I mean, I've had it happen to some of my clients, and we'll go in and it's like, what's this person talking about? We'll search their name, we'll search the last name, see if there was any family members, and there's no history of that person ever purchasing from the company ever. And then you have a look at the product they're reviewing, they don't even sell that product. So they've um they've reviewed the wrong company, and it happens a lot when you're kind of potentially bidding on competitors' key terms, and they don't even look, and they think that they're buying from that place, and then when they go back, they review the wrong business. So, um, yeah, I'm not saying all of them are malicious. Some of them are genuinely reviewing the wrong company by accident, but yeah, I think those tactics. If you're an e-commerce business, don't play in that space. It's honestly, it's not worth your time. Your focus should be growing your own business, not trying to bring down your competitors.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Yeah, focus on your own lane. It's yeah. Um, Talking about actually ChatGPT, we kind of touched upon, trying to get shown on there. I guess a couple of things that people can start doing, and I think we've probably both advised our clients on it, which was one, making sure that your site is crawlable uh, for ChatGPT. And actually, I created an SOP. I'll link it in the video where you can just basically check whether your Shopify store is set up so that ChatGPT can crawl your site, and also submitting the details ready for when OpenAI launch their kind of product feed, isn't it? Their
Yeah,
AI
it's
commerce
basically
platform.
yeah, instead of submitting your feed to Merchant Center, which you like Google Merchant Center, which you would do anyway, you can just submit it directly to ChatGPT, so it's got kind of your first party data to reference. But I have just read this week that ChatGPT do now have a relationship with Shopify. I'm not 100%
Okay,
sure what it
interesting.
is yet, but I
Yeah.
think it's down the same path as Perplexity, where they were basically giving the Perplexity the product data information for them to show the products to people searching for them. So I had to confirm that, but I did read an article that there is now some form of relationship in place between ChatGPT and Shopify.
Nice. Yeah, I guess it doesn't do any harm. I mean, this form literally takes less than a minute to fill out. So, yeah, even if they do have that relationship, it's probably worth submitting your store details as well. So,
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it comes
um,
down to I think honestly, you should submit your feed to as many places as you can. I know we've spoken about Microsoft ads, so even if you don't want to run any of the paid ads, you can submit your feed to the paid ad platform and have your products shown up for in the free listings by submitting your feed. So that's what I've been recommending that my clients do. And honestly, like I haven't submitted a Bing feed for a little while, and it's taking a lot longer than anticipated. And my clients have been signing up for the paid, like Microsoft platform, and their accounts instantly suspended, and they're having to verify their identity and their business. And I actually just had an email today saying, "Oh, Jimmy, we finally got through on Microsoft," and it's been three and a half weeks just to get the get the account open, and then I'm noticing once you submit the feed, it's taking about 14, 15 days to start getting some impressions. So if you're expecting it to be as fast and as seamless as Google, don't go in with those expectations because you're going to be pretty disappointed.
Yeah, no, it sounds it. Yeah, I was having a look around the Microsoft platform the other day with, Webmaster Tools and the advertising platform, and yeah, it's not something that I've actually, being honest, I've focused a lot of attention on because, the majority of traffic has always come from Google. So I've spent the majority of my time with clients focusing on that side of things. But now with obviously more integration with ChatGPT, and that's growing pretty rapidly, I'm having to, upskill my learning there and start helping clients with that as well.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's just an important like kind of lever to have, especially I'm not saying like I definitely don't foresee like Microsoft competing directly with Google for kind of search share. But you don't know what's going to happen with these AI updates. It might favor one platform over another. There's also talks of ChatGPT looking to bring out an AI-based browser, and
yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
whether they're using, I don't know, whether they're using Bing as a search engine or something like that. I don't know, but it might mean that that search engine becomes a lot more important. So if you're able to do just the basic things now to make sure that you've kind of got a good standing on those platforms, depending on what happens, you could really reap the benefits from that.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. One thing I noticed actually, Jimmy, while I was away, Google Search Console has had a bit of an upgrade. You've got a new logo. There's a new insights section which I was very curious to see, which basically allows you to see what pages are trending up and what pages are trading down based on a time frame. So 28 days, 3 months, I think it is, which for me I think is really helpful, especially when I'm working with sites with a large amount of product SKUs, because you can see what pages are doing well, which is great, but also what pages need some work doing because they're trending down, and we need to focus our attention on those. So, yeah, I'm liking the interface upgrade. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but
I definitely didn't notice the logo update, and I was in there today. Actually, it's actually on the tab right next to our chat. But I haven't noticed the logo upgrade. Maybe they're rolling it out. I'm just kind of
just
curious now.
yeah, I don't know how different it is. It's certainly different because I double checked it. I was like, is that a new logo? And I googled
I
it, and I saw that it's been
I
updated.
did notice as well, I saw mentioned that they've got a new 24-hour report,
Yes.
a
Yep.
more transparent 24-hour report, which I tried to find, but I'm like, oh, has this 24-hour report always been here or not? So,
No.
but I did notice it in there. But yeah, it might be interesting to look at as well. So I definitely did see that they've made some changes, which I mean, I think it's the most underutilized Google property. Well, that's coming from a Google Ads kind of bias. I think in the SEO space, it might not be as underutilized as what it is in kind of the paid space, but it's definitely got a whole like plethora of amazing data that you can dig into and have a look into that people kind of wouldn't have looked at previously. I think there's probably the potential to build a really good script that takes all the data from in there and kind of analyzes it in a format that'd be like, hey, based on all this data, this is what you could do, or this is what we recommend.
Yeah, I found a couple of good Looker Studio kind of templates which kind of analyze the data from people that are far more sophisticated than me at creating these kind of reporting uh, templates. So yeah, there's a lot you can do with it to analyze the data. But I think even in the native platform, they're getting better at displaying, some nice visual data on there. Opposed to before, it was very kind of difficult to kind of digest. Um, so yeah, excited to see what they're going to be doing with that. But that new insights feature, where you can see what's trending I think is going to be very valuable for brands.
I didn't realize that was there, so I'm gonna check that out after this
Yeah.
call. So I think on the data side as well, something that just popped to mind that I've actually been using on a couple of clients this week is I kind of mentioned it on the last call, but there's a little AI bot in Shopify. It's called Sidekick, and I've actually been using it a lot more. But one of the things that I've been asking it is show me the most frequently bought together products over the last 12 months. And because before like you can get into that data through kind of running reports, but now you can just ask that sidekick the question and it gives you all the data. And it's like, okay, maybe we can create bundles around these products that are like really commonly bought together. But also, if you do have an app that's potentially isn't using AI to, when someone adds something to the cart and it's like this is frequently bought together, sometimes people are just showing the best sellers, but you can actually use this data to create some really relevant, like frequently bought together, even emails or frequently bought together product suggestions if someone's bought one of the products. So I found that kind of really useful this week in terms of
Interesting.
having discussions around, hey, what bundles should we do, or what categories should we focus on? Or this was for a supplement company that I'm thinking of right now that we were testing it, but it's almost like, hey, why would these products be bought together? Oh, you'd use this with this for this particular condition. So now, like, we don't know what condition these potential clients have, but based on what they're purchasing, you can make an educated guess and like, hey, let's build a blog article around the conditions that these products that are frequently bought together like help with.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I need to delve into that psychic. You've mentioned it a few times, haven't you, on
You
on
can just
here?
it's like ChatGPT for Shopify. And it's got all the Shopify data in there, so you can ask it whatever you want. And it's really good, especially you could probably use it for this, Charles, on the Shopify side. It's like, give me a list of all the products that don't have a meta description. So rather than you going in and checking every product manually,
That
it'll give you a
that's
whole list of the products that don't have them. And then you can just kind of export those products without having to export the whole product list. I've seen a lot of people using it in SEO for, hey, give me a list of things that don't have this, or give me a list of
interesting.
products that don't have like Google categories assigned. So yeah, there's some good opportunities to like save some time, definitely, but also to get some deeper insights into your products and what's happening on your stores simply by asking this little sidekick AI bot, a couple of questions.
Yeah, no, that's really insightful. And does it, if you don't have access to a client's sales data, because
Good
I must admit
question.
there
I'm
are,
not sure.
yeah, yeah, there are some times where, like, I always wanted to be able to see that data to see the impact potentially that I'm able to make. But there are some clients which, some understandable on some occasions, they don't want to share, they don't
Yeah,
want to share how much
makes
money
sense.
they're making.
No,
Um,
that's fair. And actually, I hadn't even considered that because I do have the level of access on all my clients required to see that. So I actually have never even tested it without it. So I'm not 100% sure. Maybe if you don't have access to one of the client
give
side,
it a
you can
try.
test it
Yeah,
and get back to
yeah,
us.
yeah. I've got one client in mind that I think I can test that on and see if it shows up. But yeah, interesting, interesting. Um, what else have you been working on this week, Jimmy? Or last week? What's been going on in your world?
Well, I'm working, you've kind of inspired me to like redo my website. So I'm working on that at the moment. It's taking longer than I thought, not so much because of the AI hasn't like written it or coded it well enough. It's just I've been spending a lot of time on the copy and figuring out what sections I want where. So I think once that's all done, I've basically got a huge just prompt that I'm going to put into AI and see what it spits out and then edit it from
Nice.
there. But all the I want all the grunt work of it done before I jump into that. But even we were talking about Google Search Console the other day. I just went into Google Search Console to even see what I was kind of already showing up for. And I think, like, because I've been in Google Ads for so long, it only it hasn't always been called Google Ads. It's been called AdWords, and like my review form was had AdWords copy in it, but probably not as many people are using that now. But I noticed in Search Console that I'm ranking for a lot of things AdWords, so people are obviously still searching for it, and I kind of don't want to lose that. So if I didn't go into Search Console, I don't think I would have had the word AdWords on the page at all. But now I'm going to integrate that in. So it's just this is another example of things you can use Google Search Console for that you might have missed or you wouldn't even have thought of. So yeah, I mean it is called Google Ads now, but a lot of people still use the old terms, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can get away with not needing to include it too much on the page. You could even put it in the meta title and be like Google Ads, formerly known as AdWords, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And also, Google knows nuances, doesn't it, on some level. So, if your site is related to Google Ads, then naturally it's probably going to show up for AdWords as well. But yeah, it's still worth kind of. I would still try and get it in there somewhere for sure. Um, yeah, interesting though. And are you using Bolt.new?
No,
Or you think
I'm using Cursor.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to see your experience there. I must admit, I'm definitely going to try and integrate my blog on a CMS platform because, yeah, it's been nothing but headaches. If you go to my blog now, actually, you'll see there's a big layout issue. I was thinking about actually just removing the blog entirely, um, and I
I've
don't
had a
even know
look at a
why.
few of them too.
Yeah.
I think the one that I ended up thinking because I haven't gone with one yet, but I think the one that I was going to go with was called Sanity.io. So I think some of them are free too under a certain limit or whatever. So they're definitely worth checking out because I thought the exact same thing. And there's a company called Pally dot co, I think. It's basically a content management system for social media. And the reason I'm aware of this business is because it's a Melbourne-based founder, and he was kind of um, like a solo coder that built this thing all by himself. So I kind of followed his journey a little bit, and it was really interesting. And yeah, he built a great product. It got it over to kind of $1 million recurring revenue. And he uses like a headless blog for his page too, but his website is built in React, which is what I want to build mine in as well. So yeah, just interesting. But I think yeah, on the blog side, yeah, potentially. I think the CMSs are really for two. If you are building a site and you have other people wanting to update blogs or content, I think it's almost a must-have. Because Charles and I could update the blogs to the website, but we'd have to go into the back end of the code if we didn't have a CMS. If you've got like a junior or anyone really a copywriter writing any of your blogs or anything like that, you're gonna need a CMS. You won't kind of have an option unless you want them to write the blogs, then send it to you, and then you have to go in and format it and edit all the code to make it work. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just a hassle. I just want to be able to kind of upload it in a normal format. I was finding literally every time I was just uploading the copy, it would then change the layout, and I'd try and say to it, keep the same layout as the previous blog, and then it was just a real dog's dinner. Yeah, I need to get that sorted. And actually, I'd like to get our episodes converted into blogs. So the plan is that every week, obviously they go on YouTube as always, but
Yeah,
I'd
you better
have them
give me
as
some
blog
you better give
format.
me some backlinks for any, words of wisdom that I spill on that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure, for
Already
sure.
hitting Charles up for some backlinks. Oh,
So
actually, this is well, it is relevant, but it's kind of I guess people might just even hear our brainstorming. I was like, obviously, we're kind of recommending to clients that, well, I definitely am that if they can get active on Reddit, then they should be, just from what I'm seeing on AI. But I was thinking of floating the idea of setting up a subreddit on there where people can come in and ask questions about ecom and kind of us practicing what we preach. And because I'd like to learn a bit more about Reddit and get a little bit more involved. I think my Reddit account's like 11 years old, but I think it's got like 20 posts on it. So I wouldn't say I'm an active user. It's like two posts every year. But yeah, I'm keen to kind of explore that world, or even like doing a challenge for the show. Like maybe we can actually get active in e-commerce communities and between ourselves aim to, reply to 5 different posts a day or something and see what impact that has on our business or the ChatGPT search or something like that. But yeah, I was thinking of brainstorming some ways with you. We don't have to do the whole thing on the show, but I'm just floating it now. But some ways that we could practice what we preach and get a bit more active on Reddit, so we can provide some more insights, because I think it's going to be big. And Reddit's, I mean, we've always seen the Reddit results in Google anyway, especially for a lot of marketing kind of related queries. So yeah, it might be a good opportunity. But yeah, if you're keen for that, I'm keen to explore ways that we could potentially use Reddit and kind of, I guess, track it so we can show people some results of being active and what kind of content does well. And the thing with Reddit is you have to provide genuine value. Like if you're going in there with like a value post that's disguised as like a lead gen, like it's not it on Reddit. And it's it might be, I mean, it's not even it on Facebook anymore. A lot of people used to do it in Facebook groups, but I think those value posts hit it like disguised as like a lead gen post. Um, well, I can say now they definitely won't fly on Reddit. I guess some of them kind of still work on Facebook, but yeah, I'd be interested to explore that Reddit realm with you.
Yeah, no, for sure, I'd be up for that. I think, yeah, we're even seeing, aren't we, that Reddit is seems to be a signal for people showing up on ChatGPT, and yeah, it even helps with ranking on Google. So, um, yeah, it's something that I've not explored before, but yeah, definitely keen to try it out and test. I'm trying to do that a lot more now that I'm actually using my personal brand site properly. Before it was more just a brochure site at best. Now I'm actually starting to integrate a bit of a SEO and AI search strategy. Yeah, adding things like schema markup, which certainly help as well. And actively building backlinks as well is something that I'm doing. So it's obviously, there is a slight different strategy for someone like myself as a kind of marketing consultant, SEO consultant versus an e-commerce store, but
Yeah.
certain tactics still apply and can be useful um, for my clients and our audience. So yeah,
Yeah, I think it would definitely be good to explore anyway. And there's already some massive communities on there for econ. There's a PPC community, there's an SEO community. So it wouldn't be very hard for us to get involved and answer a few questions on different forums. But yeah, I think I was thinking about it the other day. I was going to message you, but then I remembered that you were on. on your week hiatus, so I decided to leave it for this week.
Just bombard me next, yeah, this week instead.
Yeah, that's it. And then,
That's all good.
yeah, the other things that are kind of happening in e-commerce world, nothing major. I think again, just highlighting to people that I mean, there's all these amazing strategies to grow and uh, kind of scale your business, but even from this week, I'm just finding, hey, everyone needs to get the fundamentals right first before they go in there. They're trying all these things. Like for Google Ads, get that working and then profitable before you like jump off and do something else. Or don't just do an SEO strategy on a whim. Get a like find a good resource for the foundations of SEO for Shopify. I'm sure Charles has one somewhere.
Yep.
Um, and like implement those like a step by step, just so I find it clears the head fog of the business owner too. It's like, okay, this is what you've got to do step by step. Just go do that. Because if you don't, you're gonna do a little bit of something and then, oh, I need to do this too. I need to do that too. I need to do this. Just have your plan of attack. Don't try to do everything at once. Um, get the fundamentals right across the major things. So whether that's Meta ads, your email marketing, SEO, Google ads, like they're kind of the main kind of four pillars of kind of online marketing. Maybe even TikTok a little bit more now, so too. But um, yeah, get your fundamentals right, because then when you try to add additional things, your conversion rate's going to be so much higher. Your ads are going to work better. That's probably another thing to throw in there for the marketing as well. Like make sure your website's actually good and has a decent conversion rate. Because if it isn't, I'd probably focus on there first. Like you want, depending on the industry and the price, like for example, if you sell really expensive products, your conversion rate might be 1%. But I think for businesses that sell kind of products up to the $150 range, kind of your conversion rate should definitely be closer to 3%. So if it's not in there, like maybe start there, because if you can take your conversion rate from 1.5% to 3%, that straight away will save you having to double your marketing spend to get the same result. So yeah, just little things, get your fundamentals right. Charles has a really good directory of people that he uses. He's probably inspired me to start my own as well. So I think I might add a directory for people that I use too. So um, but yeah, like start with getting your fundamentals right, and then go from there. Learn a little bit. I'm not saying you definitely don't have to be an expert in each thing, but I find the business owners that ask the best questions and get the best insight from me are the ones that have kind of like that base level understanding of what's happening. Um,
Yeah, for
and it
sure.
helps on both sides. So yeah, I'm not saying you have to be an expert in every facet of the marketing. But yeah, know enough to know like how to have a really good conversation with whoever's running your marketing for you.
That's some sound advice. I think probably on the flip side, if you are in a good position that you've grown the company, I often see that, e-commerce owners that they're sometimes too much in the weeds. Like they're actually at the point in where they should be hiring a specialist in different marketing areas to take charge, and they're still wearing too many hats. Um, so yeah, I think it's knowing when to hire experts, but like you said, as Jimmy mentioned, the more that you can be knowledgeable about these different channels, the better conversations you can have with these specialists, and the better, more importantly, the better you can vet for the right specialist. Because if you don't have an understanding of a channel, it's very difficult to hire, an SEO specialist if you have no clue what's involved, and that's where you can easily get shafted by
Yeah, I was
people
just about to
selling you.
say that's when people start getting taken advantage of, because they hear everywhere that they need SEO, and then they'll find an SEO company, but they don't know the right questions to ask. They don't know which facet of SEO is going to be really beneficial to them. And it's so hard. Like even like I've been in online marketing since kind of 2012, and even I find it overwhelming to explain everything that goes into SEO. Like when someone asks me, "Oh, what should I be focusing on SEO?" It's like, "Oh, it's such a loaded question because there's on page, off page, technical SEO, you got your digital PR, you got your backlink strategies, you've got people that specialize in each different niche aspect of SEO. So it's like a it's like a minefield. So I think yeah, starting I even think Charles, you spoke to one of my clients this week, and I just said to them, look, I know a little bit about SEO, but like have a chat to Charles. I know he's just honest, and like if he doesn't know, he'll tell you that he doesn't know. He's not gonna like sell you the pipe dream. He's just gonna, help you with your strategy and give you some suggestions based on what he's seen work. And yeah, I think it's it's hard. It's definitely hard for business owners, but sometimes I don't feel sorry for them when they choose the wrong person because they haven't done enough research and they've just jumped into it. They've signed a 12-month contract. I was like, it's like red flags everywhere. Why would you do that? Like, yeah, sometimes I'm definitely not saying don't make quick decisions. You can definitely make quick decisions on some things, but if you're going to sign a 12-month contract, it shouldn't be a quick decision. You should be doing some kind of thorough research.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. There's no doubt it's challenging. Like I said, I mean, it's taken it's taken me many years to continue to learn my own craft, and I can't imagine what it's like to run an e-commerce store and then have to deal with all the operations and then get a good understanding of each of the marketing channels. It's a lot of work. So, um, but yeah, I think, like I said, the more that you can kind of educate yourself, and there's plenty of resources out there. I mean, just listening to us on a weekly basis, you're gonna get some insights into what to look for and any kind of potential red flags when you're vetting. You know, whether it's an agency you want to go for or whether you want to work with a individual freelancer. So, yeah, it is what it is. But um, there's no way around it. You've either got to do the work yourself or you've got to hire someone. Um,
Yeah, and I honestly think if you are a business owner, I think that kind of that first 20K range, I think honestly, like 20K a month, you probably will be doing most of it up front yourself. So it's a good time to learn, but um, I find the ones that are doing under 20K a month that aren't doing it themselves have a physical store that they're relying on. And the online part probably isn't their primary focus, which sometimes I get Jimmy, how can we get more people in your store? It's like I'm a I want to sell your products online. Like I don't have any way to kind of measure or track how many people are coming into your store, but we have discussed this a bit, and it's more about why would someone come into your store? You need to provide an experience that they couldn't have online that would make them want to come in store. So that's kind of my response to that. Or having a personality on social media that's showing off your store that they actually want to come in and meet. Like we've all seen those the guy from China that sells like the LED signs. Like I would go into his store to meet that guy. He's hilarious. So sometimes it's about providing an experience that you can't have online if you want to get more people through your physical store, I think.
yeah, no, yeah, certainly true. Cool, man. Well, I think we're coming up to the hour mark. It's flown by.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. I actually missed it last week. I know it's just an hour
Yeah,
just to catch up, but my Tuesday night felt a bit empty. So yeah, it's good to be back.
that's all
Because I
good.
think
I'm
I
back. I'm
think I
back.
missed. Did I miss the one before that, Charles? Was I on holiday, or did we have? No,
I
we had
think
one
so.
in between
Y-
that, didn't we?
yes, yeah, yeah. I think yeah, we've
Yeah,
both
that's right.
taken
We
our
did.
July
I
holiday off
remember.
now.
Yeah, I remember flying. I remember we had a call the day I flew in and got home. So yeah, that's right. I think we had one between there. But yeah, it was good to be back. And if you guys want to, if you're listening to this on some audio platform, just check us out on YouTube on e-commerce marketing chats, or check us out on Facebook at e-commerce marketing secrets, and hopefully maybe next week or the week after we'll have some news on a place where you can come ask us some questions on Reddit too.
Well, cheers, guys. See you next time.